thank you guys for coming this morning. I know it's early. You guys are here. Thank you for arriving. My name is Jamal Turner with Turner Business Solutions, and I'm here today to discuss the business startup 5 keys to success. The first thing I want to do before we get into all that, I know it's early. Thank you guys once again for coming. I want to go over a little bit about myself so you can know who you're dealing with. I was born in the inner city here in West Palm Beach, Florida. Sibling of one and single mother that raised us. I remember my mom working 2 jobs, one as a CNA and as a school cafeteria worker, and making barely enough money to be able to take care of me and my brother. So from seeing that, when I was in high school, I remember a course I took called economics, 11th grade, and that class stuck with me to this day. Once they explained white collar and blue collar workers and what the economy was based on and how it moves, I knew at that time what I wanted to do. And then I set out to do it, and that was to be in business, to be in financing. So I took my journey, went into college, graduated, came home with no job in sight. I looked, no job in sight, right? And at that point in time, I had my first child. I was 18 years old. And I came back home, no job in sight, so I wound up getting a job at a collection agency. And when I took the job there, the owner propositioned me 1 year of work so I can guarantee him that I wouldn't leave for my field of work. Didn't know what I was doing. I was 19 years old with the child, so what the heck, I did it. So a year after that, I became a supervisor in that company. A year later, became manager. As I was doing that, I found the passion for music, started to do music. And within doing that, I was able to meet a lot of influential people in the music business. And at that time, I had my second child. So here I am, 19, 20 years old with 2 children. No steady job, but working in something that was making some money. Found the passion for music, and that led me to meet a lot of influential people, travel throughout the west coast of the country. And doing that, I started my first company at 19, 20 years old, Untouchable Music Record. And with doing that with no guidance, I made $20,000 my first 2 years in business. Once I did that, I met an individual who was recording with Def Jam Records at the time, and me and him started a company, and that went into like a year relationship. Met a lot of influential people in the business, left that company and went back to my own personal business. And then 2-3 years later, I met another local independent record label by the name of Poco Loco Music, and I signed with him, and I went on a whole tour journey of music, and while I was still working odd jobs, so I was still doing these things while I was working an odd job, but I was still self-employed. So to say that you can still do what you want to do and live your dream as well. So once that happened, I started traveling, I met a lot of influential people. From there, I went on to meet more influential people in the business. By this time, I was at my 3rd child. I was at my 3rd child by that point in time. And I was roughly the age of maybe 30-ish, into my 30s at that time. And still no set direction of what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to be in business on my own. So from doing that, I was able to establish what I wanted to do once I left the last company that I was with, the record company I was with. And by that time, I worked for a lot of 500 Fortune companies in Palm Beach County. That led me to be able to business manage. I was a business manager, business development manager for those companies. And at that time, I knew what I wanted to do, and that was to business coach, to help companies start up from the ground up, because I had that ability to do so. From working in companies that started with 5 people and grown to 500 people, I've been a part of those management teams, so I know what it takes to do that. So I'm here today to let you know that I have what it takes to help you guys reach that point. I will be able to help you with your business logistics from your business plan. I'll be able to assist you with writing your goals, understanding how to write your goals, understanding how to attain those goals. And for less of the time that it'll take you and less cost of the fraction that you would spend with anyone else, even yourself, doing it. And that's why I'm here today, to be able to show you guys how to successfully start your business. And once again, my name is Jamal Turner, all right, with Turner Business Solutions. And as I get into this, if you have any questions, you can ask at any point in time, that's fine. The first key is the self-development stage. I'm going to get a little more in depth into the actual business startup, the 5 keys to this. So real quickly, I'm going to go through this so you guys can see exactly what's needed to get your business in the right direction. This is all the basic thing. This is nothing into your taxes. This is not breaking down the different business entities as far as taxes. I always recommend individuals to consult with a CPA when it comes to that, when you're doing your businesses, to make sure that you're filing correctly, to make sure that you're getting the right taxes done for your company. That's really important. I'm not a CPA. I let everyone know to consult with one when it comes to setting up your business and make sure you're in the right bracket, okay? And we have here 5 keys to business startup success. And those are the 5 keys, like I was saying earlier in the presentation to you guys. Self-development, your business name, your goals, business plan, and execution, okay? And self-development, knowing oneself, what's your purpose, know your purpose, your why, spirituality, self-care, and execute these things. Because again, execution is going to be key in all of these keys to your success. Knowing oneself, knowing your purpose, knowing your why. I went to a seminar with Prime America last June. I was introduced to Prime America through a friend of mine, long story short. And I went to this conference, about 20,000 individuals. The place was packed in Atlanta, Georgia. And everyone that was successful, everyone that was $1 million earner, who was an $8 million earner, who had rings on to show what their earning rate was, each one of them said, what's your purpose? And to know your why. Each and every one of them. I met one personally as I was eating lunch, and when he was talking to me about what I was doing, where I was going, and I told him where I was at. I told him that I was in the stage of knowing myself and in the self-development stage. And I asked him, how can I be successful? I asked him, what did he do to get where he was? And the first thing he said was self-development. He didn't say he went out and got 100 recruits. He didn't say he went out and sold this Prime America product, sold these insurance policies. He said what he did was he self-developed himself first. Then he was able to embark on the next thing that he was doing. That's what got him to be successful. So this, I felt, is primary in the stages of starting your business, because you got to get yourself together. If not, then your business is going to be a wreck, like I was saying earlier. Trust me, it will be a nightmare. I've been there too. It's not a good place to be. And when you're doing that, you want to make sure that you are working on yourself. Because when you're working on yourself, that'll transcend into your business. Me, myself, I started back in 2017 working on myself. And when I worked on myself, I started to discover things that I did not know prior to that moment of taking full accountability of myself and my actions, my thoughts, what my thoughts will lead to, what the consequences be if they are not the right thoughts to create what I wanted to happen. So as I went on my self-development, I met a lot of people that were different from my previous crowd, from my thoughts changing in the way I wanted to move. So once I started meeting these individuals, they began to relate in the same dialogue as me, and a lot of them were successful. A lot of them were millionaires and still are millionaires. And the first thing they would speak of is self-development, self-development. And I didn't really know what that meant until I started really getting into it. And it's really a breakdown of yourself, of like everything within yourself. The bad habits changing into good habits, bad thoughts changing into good thoughts. And the way that we talk to ourselves have a lot to do with how we're going to be able to create our reality, create our businesses, and become great business owners. The second thing is you want to choose a good, solid business name. Business name is really important. A lot of people miss that when they're starting their companies. A lot of people just think that, well, I'll come up with anything and it'll work. And my history and my research, a lot of the successful business, not a lot of them, but over more than half of them, the owners name the business behind themselves. Number 2 is the business name. As simple as it may sound, but this is the second most important step to business and startup that a lot of people miss. They miss this point because they just want to get to the money, they want to get to where they got to go, but they miss this point, which is real key. And research has found that the most successful business have the same name as the owner. That's from Bloomberg in 2006, and these are my examples, like I was saying earlier. And the most famous one that I love is the McDonald's. They started from themselves. But that's a whole other story behind that as well, about capacity, but that's another story. But these guys started from their own name, and it went around the globe. But they kept it in a box where they wanted to keep it very folky, wanted to keep it very home. But the guy that came to them with the milkshake idea saw a whole nother capacity for McDonald's. But that's a whole nother story. That's going to be in my next class. That's going to be a great conversation. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. Number 2, business name. Okay, so you guys make sure you take time with your business name. And when that happens, when you do that, you're taking accountability for your business and yourself, because you're representing yourself, of course, because it's your name, and then you're representing your business. So it'll make that individual have more integrity. It'll make them stand by what they're going to tell their customers, and it's going to make them hold themselves accountable, because it's their name that they're representing more than anything. So that's why I chose Turner Business Solutions, because I wanted to stand by what I'm going to do. I wanted to be, I wanted to have integrity behind helping individuals start their business. Goals is the third key to business, as I was saying earlier. You want to have daily, weekly, monthly, yearly goals. You want to commit to those goals, write those goals down, execute those goals. Okay, and when you're working your daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, I've been taught by Omar Peru, which is my mentor, which is one of the greatest mentors in the country, and I'm honored to have him mentor me and give me these tools and ideas. You want to work year in backwards into your goals. Okay, you want to work backwards into those, and my understanding of that is to be able to see here at the end from the front. And you start at the end. If you can accomplish everything at the end and know how to get those resources, everything along the way is going to be easy. Everything will be simple. It happened to me. I started backwards. So this moment today, I went and got the resources in my daily goals to be able to be here today to make this happen. I didn't wait till 90 days later to see how can I get the facility, what do I need to get this day to happen. I started in the end first. And then I worked my way through, because I knew what all I needed to get to the end. So every day, every week, every month, my workflow, my task was based on my end result. It wasn't based on what I'm doing today, what I'm doing next week, what I'm doing next month. I worked on my year total, and I went backwards forward. So that got me to this place easier. That got me to the connections easier. That got me to my resources, because I already went to those resources ahead of time to set this up today, to be able to be here today. So that's really important, working year end backwards. You want to commit to those goals, write them down every day, execute your goals. When you write them down, you want to look at them. You can't write them down and stick them in the closet and not see them no more. Because that's what your business is going to be. It's going to be no more. You follow what I'm saying? So if you're looking at them every day and you looking at them every day, then your business is going to be every day. It's going to be in your mind every single day. Trust me, it will. It was on my mind every single day. The goals are so important in this process to where I can't even elaborate enough on that. That's what got me here today. That's what's going to get me here a year from now, and then 2 years from now, is the goals that I have written down. A lot of individuals use goals in different manners. You have personal goals, you have business goals, and then you have your self goals. Those are individual things on their own that you have to be able to see what you need to do to be able to accomplish your business goals. If your personal life is a wreck, then your business is going to be a wreck. Trust me, I've been there. I've been there. I could tell you a story right now that happened to me. 2017, I was going through something, went through a bad relationship breakup from some mistakes that I made. And those mistakes put me in a place where I thought I would never come back out of. I was homeless, sleeping out of my car. Just a total disaster for like 3 months. Didn't know what I was going to do. And in that time is where I went into my self-development stage to be able to rebuild myself, to be able to refine myself, to reinvent the wheel. And when I went to that place that I put myself in, I had no choice but to succeed, because I failed. And when I got through that, I was able to understand how to go from a crash to a brand new fix of a car within 3 to 4 months. And that got me here as well, was the endurance, the durability of myself and my mind to know that I can push through. But that was the time where I had to really sit down with myself and ask myself questions like, what's going on? What are you doing? What's your path? What's your mission? What's your goal? And once I did that in 2017, it got me here today in 2020 to know exactly what my mission is, to know exactly what my path is, and I can be able to help individuals do the same thing. So your goals are important. Your goals are so important to where If you're not writing those goals down, if you're not looking at them every day, then you're not going to be on track. I promise you will not be on track. I did this every day for 90 days. I wrote in my planner, I wrote in my business planner every single day what I was going to do for my personal life and for my business. Every single day without a shot. I wish I had my planner, I would show you. Every single day it was something. It wasn't a day that I looked on my planner and I didn't have something to do for myself, be it self-time to myself, to ask myself self-questions, to see where I'm at. The fourth thing is, the fourth key, which is really important as well, but not as important as the goals, because the goals will get you to this fourth key. The fourth key is the business plan. The business plan is really essential to the whole process, especially if you're a company that needs startup money, that needs funds, that need investors. You want to have your business plan to the T, and there are 9 essential points to that as well. And I'll get further into that into the presentation. Number 4, the business plan. If you don't plan, then you plan to fail. I'm sure you guys heard that 100 times. In school, seminars, probably from your mom. If you don't plan, you plan to fail. If you don't do your work, you plan to fail. That is true. You will fail if you don't plan. Trust me. And in this section, it gets a little deep, but I'm going to run through this just so you guys see the 9 essential points to the business plan real quickly, okay? 9 essential parts of your business plan. The executive summary, and as you can see, it just breaks down your company, the entire overview, what an investor can expect from your company, what your consumers can expect from your company, what potential lenders can expect from your company is your executive summary. Next is your market analysis, which I went over earlier when I was speaking to you guys, breaking down your market, knowing what your competition is, understanding how to supply your market or create your market and then supply that demand, all right? Next thing is your company description. This is simple as it sounds, but a lot of people don't get this part right. Company description is not the same as your business summary. That's two different sections. So and it breaks down a brief description of your company, including the nature of your business, factors that will make your business a success. And this is really important in this section is business and factors that will make your business a success. That's going to be key when the lenders are reading it because they want to know what's going to drive this company for 3-4 years for us to invest into your company or into your firm. Management and organization. Pretty much you want to write down who's going to be your manager, who's going to be your organization, and that way the lenders can know who they're going to be working with. And in this section, your management that you're describing, you want to let them know how long they've been in the business, what their titles, what their work history is, so that way the lender and the investors can know what type of people are working in your firm. That's really important as well. You want to make sure you have that detail of your management team, okay? Marketing and sales management, it just describes the marketing strategies intended to drive your sales. Sales strategies should be included to provide information for your sales styles and activities. So when the lenders are looking at this, they can know that you have a plan and you have a strategy that your team is going to use to get your business going. All right, that's really important as well. All of this is important, so you want to make sure if you need help doing this, make sure you get your business partner, make sure you get somebody that's been in business for a long time to sit down with you to break this down with you, because this is really important as well. Products and services. What products you're going to be selling and how you're going to service those products to your customers and to your client base, okay? Number 7 is requesting for funding. You want to include the current future funding requirements, how that funding will be used, long range strategies that will impact funding requests. And in this section, you're just going to break down what you need to run your business, how much, how long, and what it's going to take to get your business going money-wise. Financials, and this is pretty much breaking down your finances in the company. Both financial data as well as prospective financial data will be required for potential lenders. So they want to see what your financial projection would be front and back end of your business, okay? And lastly is the appendix, which is just a breakdown which includes the main body of your business. Proprietary and confidential information may be a part of it, but you don't have to. It should not be easily assessed. This section shouldn't be easily assessed to anyone online. So online, you want to make this very exclusive, so that way they won't know your structure of your company. Because in business is usually a mimic. People like to mimic what they see works. So in business, you want to keep things to a secret, to where you have your own business key. Not to hide anything from anybody, but everything has this niche that works. And everything can't be exposed sometimes for a business to run. I just like Mr. Bloomberg. You think Bloomberg told all of us how his business got it to be $100 million? No, of course not. He kept it inside. He kept it with his management team, and they're moving as such. So if you want to know that, then you have to be in a position to get that information from him. That would be either a business meeting or a potential investing meeting with him, that he'll be able to break down what strategies he uses to get his company where it's at, okay? Like it says, documents may be included in your appendix: market study details, reference letters, personal and business credit history, patents, permits, contracts, and contact information. So that's why this section cannot be easily accessed, because there's so much valuable information in there to where you don't want to give it, you want to be able to present it for funding. Is what I like to see. Present it for funding, not to give, okay? That's really important as well. But the business plan would definitely have your company structured to where you can have investors look, you can have potential new clients be able to see your breakdown in your business summary section, your marketing analytical section. They'll be able to see what your market is, how you analyze your market. Do you know what your competition is? How are you going to be able to compete with your competition? And the biggest part about this business startup is know your market, know what your market need, and give them what they need. Or vice versa, find a need in the market and then supply that need. Then at that time, you'll be able to fuel your particular market to show your investor that you know what your market needs, because you created it and you have a supply for it. So that's huge within your business plan, is the marketing analysis, because that's where they're going to look to see if you know what you're really doing. That's real key. A lot of people need help with that from CPAs. Some people have other business advisors that they work with. Me, I did it all myself. But it's definitely hard work, but your goals will be able to streamline you into your business plan more effectively, because your brain will be in an order to be able to receive information and be able to put out information. Business plan is really important. There's 9 keys to that as well. Lastly, number 5 is execution. Don't even have to go any further than that right there. Do what others are not willing to do. All right, execution is key. Tom Brady, prime example. Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, LeBron James, Michael Jordan. They did what others did not want to do because they worked later in the gym. Tom Brady stayed on the football field after practice. When the practice was over, everybody went to the locker room. Tom Brady started there throwing footballs. He got 6 rings. Michael Jordan, when people was going home after practice, he's in the gym still shooting jump shots. Got 6 rings. Dwayne Wade. People left the gym. He's still in the gym. He has 3 rings. So doing what others don't want to do, it hurts, because you're up later than everybody else and you're up before everybody else. It does hurt, but it helps build resilience. That's what makes us great, is doing what others not willing to do. That separates first place and second place. I promise you, doing what somebody else don't want to do will separate you every single time. Doing that one free gesture at that paid situation, so you know what? This is on me. That'll move you further than someone saying, that's going to cost you this, or that's going to cost you that. You know, to be able to give something, you'll be able to receive 10 times fold. Trust me on that. Execution. That word is itself. It says itself, execute. That means to do what others are not willing to do. To be able to be in a position to where you set up an event and you have one person come. You still have to do that event. You cannot not do that event because no one's showing up. Because that would be what somebody else would do. Somebody would not do the event because they have no one coming. But no one would do it. So to do what others won't do will be able to get you further in your business. The execution is key. I can't say it enough. It's been days where I didn't want to finish my daily planner. Just was done with the day. You know, worked half the day, come home with the family, you got the kids, you have things happening, and you go look to your planner, you have 5 more things to do. Do you do it, or do you go to sleep, take a nap, watch TV, drink a beer? That's the choice we have to make. I made the choice to finish those 5 things on that list. If it's 12 o'clock, if it's 1 o'clock a.m., 3 in the morning, I'm going to get it done to be able to see my end result. Because if you don't get it done today, then it flows over to tomorrow, then it flows over to the next day. So when that happens, and if you have something in your planner, this is key too as well, to go back to your daily goals. If you have something in your planner and it's been there for 3 days and you haven't done it, just get rid of it. Because it's not important anymore. Because once after day 3 and what you wrote down on Monday, if it's not done by Wednesday, then it's not going to make or break your situation. Because you haven't done it and you're still moving forward. So I let people know, don't get in the habit of dragging things over and over and over, because it creates a habit of carrying dead weight, which is what a lot of us tend to do in business. We carry things, we carry ideas too long, and they fizzle out. Like Damon said, the guy from the Shark Tank, he said that when the idea first spark and you don't go, 30 days later you're back to the same idea. So when that idea sparks in them first 30 days, you are moving on it like 100 miles an hour. Because if you don't, trust and believe that spark will die in 30 days. Because you start listening to people, you start seeing things out there, you start seeing people in nice cars and nice houses, and you start getting in your vibration lowers because you think that I can't get that. That idea is not going to be able to accomplish that. But it's not the idea that's going to accomplish that. It's the envision, it's the manifestation, it's the writing down what's it going to take to be able to make that happen. Once you do that in that first 30 days and you see it all on paper, it's going to enforce you. It's going to hold you accountable to do what you've written down on paper. If not, you'll be lying to yourself. You won't even be lying to your potential customers. You won't be lying to your family. You won't be lying to nobody but ourselves. And that's where I was when I started this search on what was my purpose. I would write things down and I wouldn't finish it. So I knew that those things wasn't what I wanted to do. Once I knew what I wanted to do and I wrote it down on paper, I started doing it. But when I thought of this in 2017, 2018, I helped my now fiance start a hair company, Bear Hair Company LLC. I helped her with the vision from paper. And I remember this night, she scribbled it down on paper and she showed me it. And I'm like, what is that? She was like, this is my company, Bear Hair, it's gonna work, I'm gonna say hair, I'm gonna say hair, I'm gonna do all this. I'm like, I don't know. Then I thought about it. I thought about it very well. I said, you know what? I'm gonna help her put this together. And now she's 3 years into business, she's very successful. And when that happened, that sparked that engine. And I've been gone since, I have not looked back. And since then, I've started 3 businesses. I've consulted over 20, 30 clients in their business ideas. And it's been a great journey, but it goes back to say that when that idea sparks, you gotta go and you have to execute. Because when she had that idea, she had to scribble it out on that paper. It was a little sheet of paper with a small little thing on it. I'm like, what is it? Because the lines was broken, you know, the letters wasn't connected. It was crazy. And I looked at it like, that's crazy. I don't know if that's gonna work, right? True story. And I'm sitting there, not telling her this, I'm thinking to myself, like, how's this gonna work? This is not even. So I took the idea to a friend of mine, a great friend of mine, Alex Ware, that's my guy, he's the greatest. And I showed him this logo that she drew up. He was like, he gave me the old mafia look like. He was like, okay, you can have something. I was like, oh no, man. He was like, no. So he dipped and dabbed and put it together, and when we did it, when we put it on the computer screen and we saw it, that made me extra excited for her that her vision is now, it's now happening. And now we're 3 years into it, and she's just moving with steam, and it's great to see that. And when that happened, that sparked me to start Turner Business Solutions. And that's where my spark came. And it's been 2 years since, and I have not stopped. So execution is key. And I say that, and I speak of that story because she didn't stop because of what I may have inputted on her idea. She didn't stop because of what people may have told her, well, that may not work. How are you gonna get the hair? How are you gonna do this? How are you gonna do that? I remember her always telling me that she's gonna figure out a way. She's gonna find a way to get this product. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, she's gonna figure out how to do this with no guidance, with no one helping her. With every time she asked somebody in the business, they would give her some BS, excuse my terminology, but no one gave her a direct path to how to get the vendors. This is what you need to do. This is where you need to go. She figured it out herself. So for me, watching that every single day, that motivated me to know that it's not about what you can't do, it's about how you're gonna figure it out. Because we can sit here and say, man, you know, I can't learn Spanish, I can't learn this, I can't learn how to ride a bike, but until we actually tell ourselves, how can I figure out how to learn Spanish? What's the easiest way for me to learn this language? What's the easiest way for me to ride this bike? We're never gonna know. So I was taught in that moment of 12 months, not to think about what I can't do, but think about how can I create it? How can I figure it out? And once I saw her do this, like I watched this woman build this thing from the ground up. And when I saw her do that, that inspired me to say, you know what? It's 100 more people out there just like her, but don't have that drive. So I want to be that drive. I want to be that ignition button for people. I want to be that key starter. I'm not the whole car. I cannot be the whole car for anyone. I cannot do that. I can only be your start button. I can't be your gas. I can't be your oil. I can't be your windshield wipers. I can't do those things. but I can push the button in you and say, you know what, I can earn a few dollars on the side, right? I'm sure you all want to make a little couple dollars on the side, right? Even while we're working for somebody, you get off work, you come home, you pay your bills, check is in the bank, boom, bills are paid, and then what happens? You're back for the same 2 weeks, back with the same check, back with the same bills, with the same money left, be it $80, $30. I've been there where I get paid and I have $30 left for 2 weeks. Like, that's insane. But what that does to some people, it either makes them act or it makes them react. So the action to be, I want more. The reaction to be like, you know what, this is just what it is. So, I'm just gonna make ends meet. Everybody has their choice. You can either make ends meet or you can meet the ends. I choose to meet the ends. So with her doing that, it just kicked me off the porch. I jumped. And when I made my jump this year actually, I was working at a company for 7 years, working at this company for 7 years. And the last 2 years were like the worst. Not with the company. The company is great. Great company, you can invest in the company. They're a private company, traded, it's a great company to work for. But my personal life wasn't aligned with my career life. So for 2 years, I fought myself for 2 years, wanting to be here today. 2 years. So within doing that, I was able to establish resilience. I was able to build a character that I didn't know that I had. So when I took the jump in January to leave that company, to go work for a company as my business to assist them with their startup, which is my first client I'm blessed to have, that led me to know that we have to take flight. We cannot live in the fight or flight mode because you'll be there forever. And it would have been 2 years, it would have been 3 years, it would have been 4 years. I still have been at this job fighting my own self. I'm not fighting my boss. I'm not fighting my fiance. I'm not fighting my family. I'm not fighting 95. I'm fighting myself for making a decision like, you know what? I'm here, but I don't want to be there. So just go. Just go. It took me 2 years to get to that realization because in the front of the 2 years, I was worried about things that I had no control over. I was worried about things that didn't even have nothing to do with me. I just had to make the step, and when I made the step, everything I wanted to happen has happened. Every single thing. So I say that to say, jump off the porch, man. Jump out there and do it. Execute it, because it can be done. Our businesses, our dreams are what this world is made of. This world is not made of people strategically thinking. This world is made of dreamers and thinkers and hopers. That's why they tell us when you're kids, oh, you can dream, you can be anything you want to be, right? They tell us when we were kids, when we were, I think it was 7th grade, 8th grade, maybe like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, when you go through that process, you start meeting influential people, you have career day at school, and then firefighters come in, policemen come in, ambulance, lawyers, doctors. They always put those high individuals in front of us to think big. Not to say that you can be a lawyer, you can be a doctor, but think big. Think big as a doctor and see what happens. Think big as a lawyer and see what happens. Think encourageable as that firefighter or that police officer and watch what happens. That's what I translate now, looking back on those career days. Not the fact they wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer. They wanted me to have the courage to step out and say, you know what, this is what I want to do, so do it. And translating that to where I'm at now, it brought me to a point of courage, strength, dignity, honor, to where, you know what, I'm going to stand out on this, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to help people start their businesses. I'm going to be the push start in your foreign car, as the young people say, as my son would say. I'm going to be the push start button on your car. I want to be that ignition that fuels everyone to say, you know what, I can do this, and not what they can't because someone said something to them. I was there. I was that guy that would listen to, a rational, different mind of people, and it would lead me to think that, you know what, man, I can't do this, man. No one's gonna buy into this. And once I got past the buy-in part, people buying into what I want to do and actually wanting to do this, it changed my whole outlook. So execution is key. Trust me, I've done it. I've helped businesses do it. I've helped individuals do what they're doing today, different companies. And I thank you guys for giving me the time. I thank you guys for being here. And any questions that you guys have, more than welcome to answer. And then we get into the next part of this, and I'm going to be done. I thank you guys for allowing me to speak. Thank you. As I get into the different companies or your filings, again, I'm not a CPA, so make sure you consult your CPA for tax purposes on these different filings, all right? So these are the type of business documents that you need for filing your business. You have your limited liability company and corporation, fictitious name, doing business as partnership LLC, and the sole proprietor. Your LLC is a limited liability company, so it does hold you limitedly liability for certain things, accidents or lawsuits or anything of that nature. Incorporation, it kind of frees you up to a lot of those things that you become vulnerable to in your business because of the incorporation. So a lot of people starting out, they usually go with the LLC because they don't want to be held liable for a lot of things that they're not aware of in the business startup. Not saying that I recommend to anyone how to go about it, but these are your flows of business. Your fictitious name, that's where I started at. When I started my company, I did a fictitious name, and I was like, I got my fictitious name, and I was happy running around with a piece of paper. Not to know that I wasn't in my full state of business, but I had to learn that. Your DBA, doing business as, you have some people that do business as just for tax purposes, okay? So again, make sure you consult your CPA on that. Partnership LLC, if you and your brother, you and your mother, you and your cousin, you and your uncle go into business and you don't want to take the full responsibility, you'll do a partnership LLC, which still keeps you guys less liable for things as a group. So proprietorship, just like it says, it's all you, it's all your business, you taking all responsibility, you going all in, all right? So those are your type of business documents filing that you need. Next is your EIN number, which is your employer identification number, which is what you'll need to open up a business account with your bank. That's essential to do that. If you don't have that, you will not be able to open that business account. It's a federal tax ID number for tax purposes for your business, okay? Business bank accounts. What you need business license, name of business, EIN number, personal information like driver license, passport, organization docs filed with state, LLC, and corporation. So when you go into the bank, you sit down with somebody and you want to open your business account, first thing they're going to ask you for is your articles of incorporation. Then they're going to ask you for your EIN number. And then you proceed to fill out a lot of documents that have your name attached to it, but your business name and your EIN number will be primary entity of that bank account. You'll be a signee on that account. So it'll be up under your business name totally. All right, business cards. I used these wrong for over 18 years. I'm going to say that. I used this card wrong for a long time until I did my research to understand what they're used for. This is the most powerful single business tool, dollar for dollar, that we have as business owners. But we have to use it the right way. It's not meant to be used as a flyer, to be left in stores. It's not meant to be used as a giveaway. It's meant to be given in exchange to gain business or get your name out there. So if that person you're talking to is not in alignment with your business, say, hey man, you know what, I need this, that's the person you want to give that card to. But to meet someone and say, here's my card, call me, it's a waste. You might as well give them a flyer because they're going to throw it on the ground or stick it in the closet somewhere and not see it again, right? And also what I love about the business card and what I've read is that it keeps working for you days, weeks, months, even years after leaving your hands. So let's say you're in the airport and you're in South America somewhere, you're hanging out. Somebody say, hey man, I like what you're doing. You have a business card. Yes. And you leave them 2-3 cards. And you come back to America, weeks later, you get a call from somebody that got the card from him who wants some business from you. And you're not even there. So the business card, it works hand in hand. There's a great book that I would suggest that anyone read that's starting a business that don't know the business card. I read it myself. It's a great book. It's In the Cards by Ivan Mintzner, PhD. Ivan Mintzner was the individual who started the International Business Networking Association, which is the largest networking association in the country, in the world actually. There's an annual fee of $100 a year, if I'm not mistaken. And when you sign up for this international business marketing program, you are a part of the best business networking, I would say, organization in the world, to where they only allow 2 of your business in these networking events. So if you do hair, it's only you and one more person that does hair that's at this event. So there's no competition and doubling of people to where it's 10 people that do hair, 10 plumbers, 10 realtors. There's only 2 to each event. So it opens your market to where you can cross work with these individuals and figure out how can you help them help you. That's the biggest thing about business networking that people get wrong. They go there to get help for themselves, but they never figure out how can I help you help me. And that's what I learned from going to these networking events. Not to go there and say, I want to meet everybody to get paid. No, what can I do for you in turn that will do something for me in exchange of? That's the greatest way to go about your business networking events, to go in there with the mind of how to help somebody, and then they will automatically help you because you're doing something for them first. That's what I learned. It's really important that you do that. But these business cards are meant to be given to actually gain business and get your name out there. All right, so don't just give them out willy-nilly, because people will take them and they stick them in a folder with 9 more cards. So I used to be that person that did that. That's why I say that. So social media is key nowadays in this evolution where we are. When I started my first business back in 2002, there was no social media. Think about that. 2002, we had no social media. 2001, no social media. So I started a record company with no social media, with no Instagram, no Facebook, no Twitter, no YouTube. Right? So how did that? Let's think about that for a second. So how did I market myself with none of these tools? I had to go out. I had to travel to California. I had to take that trip to Georgia. I had to take that trip to Tennessee. It was no, hey man, check me out online, here's my link. So it changes the game to where if you was around before this happened and you did business, you are great. You are built tough. Because if you was able to make it through this era before this happened and you ran a business and made money and made revenue, then you are pretty savage. Because now that you have these tools, a lot of individuals like myself who had these tools now didn't even know how to use them to work for me, because I was so facilitated on going out and meeting that person and shaking their hand and putting that CD in their hand, compared to somebody going online, hopefully giving me a like button. It's totally different, but it's a sign of the time, so you have to add it to your business. You gotta, oh, and the one I forgot on there is LinkedIn. I'm sorry, LinkedIn is a great one to have as well. LinkedIn, okay? I forgot that in my slide here. Business startup program. So it is my program. It's a great program. I've used this program with several individuals. They loved it, it worked, and I'm just thrilled. I'm excited to introduce this to you guys. I'm so excited. All right, so within the business program, we have our business documents. I'll be reviewing, assisting, auditing all the associated paperwork needed for your startup business and your company for about 90 days, because it may take 3 months to get your business done on paper, depending on what comes back. If you have some questions, I'll be able to assist you with that as well. Next thing is your business social media profile. I'll be setting up a single profile media platform outlet for your business, which everyone needs it. And you want to have a huge presence, so you want to make it look nice and professional. And I do have the media team to help individuals have their social media page look very professional and very nice. Next one is the mentorship. It'll be 3 months of mentorship that I'll provide you. So for 3 months, you'll be with me. 3 months. It's going to be great. Trust me. Trust me. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. It's a very important instrument to become an entrepreneur. Guidance is key. A lot of people don't have guidance. People think that they can do everything themselves. I was the same way. I can do it myself. I can do it myself. And we have to remove the I, because there's no I in team. There's no I in team, and teams make things successful. I've been a part of one team by myself, starting the business by myself, and I've been a part of a whole team, and we traveled halfway across the country. My voice was in South America. I never thought it would be there because I had a team. And it was great to have a team. So team is important, guidance is important. I'll help you how to approach your goals, time management, self-development, mental endurance, and much, much more. I will teach you how to build capacity to be able to facilitate what you're about to embark on, because it's a lot. Next thing is I will also include 2 event tickets to my next 2 events as well in my program, okay? So you and someone that probably want to start a business, someone that you've been probably wanting to partner with, you can come to some events and get some information and walk away with something great, okay? Like I did, it was great. Next thing is 1 hour over the phone coaching and consultation. So I'll be doing that with you over the phone for an hour. I'll be sitting with you for an hour, talking about where you are with your goals. Are you on track? Helping you do your year-end and backwards work to understand what it takes to get to where you have to go, okay? And bonuses, because we all like bonuses, right? Yeah. I can say yeah? You can say yes? Yes, great. Bonuses. So bonuses will be 5 keys to business startup success, the audio sessions, 1 30-second business promo video. Total bonus is $347.94. I'm going to throw that in. I'm just throwing that in, right? I'm not even worrying about that, because that's what we're all going to need. And these audios you can take with you. You can download them, listen to them in your car. They're great to use. I even listen to myself still today. So trust me, it works. All right? And so here's where we got. So here's your total investment in my program, all right? So for today and today only, your total investment is that amount. I know it seems like a lot, trust me. I'm with you guys, trust me, right? But how much do you think this is for today and today only? If you guys were to sign up and get that package, how much do you guys think it'll be? I just want to ask the question because everybody freaks out at this part. Oh my gosh, $1,500. How much is that?
1,500 even.
No, I do it even better. You think it's that?
Yeah. You're doing 50% off today?
No, I'm not. That was you close. No, I'm not even doing 50% off.
You're doing 70% off?
You think it's that?
That's reasonable.
You think that's what I'm doing today? If you sign up today, you're going to get a huge, crazy discount. I'm going to give you hard work. I'm going to give you dedication. I'm going to give you what got me to this point, right? So you think it's that? I'm going to do you guys one even better. It's not even that. Because I want you guys to succeed, right? I want you guys to be great. So it's not about even the amount here. It's about me helping individuals get their start. Like I was not helped to get my start. You follow what I'm saying? But along the way, I got help because I opened my mind up to receive what was coming to me. So I got help along the way because I changed my thought process. I changed my environment, right? But for today, and today only, this is where we at. For those services and for my time and for my dedication to your business startup is where we at today. $297.99, over 80% in discounts and bonuses. Okay, you get the 3 months mentorship, you get the 5 audio sessions, you get the 1 30-second promo video for your social media, which is really important. And you choose whatever social media you want to put it on. Doesn't matter to me. You choose your most populated one and you put it there. And there's another thing called Buffer. If you don't have Buffer and you're a business owner, you want to get Buffer in your phone. Okay, Buffer is a tool that would allow you to post to 3 or 4 of your social media networks without having to go to any of them. Me, I go on my phone, I grab my post I want to post, put it in Buffer, hit send, I set it for times to go, and look, see my phone? It goes back in my pocket. I'm done for the day. I don't have to go to LinkedIn every 3 hours or whatever every 3 hours. I set it once in the morning, I set my 5 posting schedules, and I go about my day, and they post, okay? So get Buffer. If you don't have it, I recommend everyone to get it. But for today and today only, $297.99, over 80% in discount. I want you guys to name me one thing that you got an 80% discount on in the last 90 days. Name me one thing that you brought, that you went to the counter and they said, you know what, this is 80% off today. Nothing, right? So again, it goes to show that it's not about the money with me. It's about being able to help individuals reach their dreams. Because again, no one guided me until I sought the guidance, okay? So that's where we are. I really appreciate you guys coming out today. I'll be in the back table if you want to sign up. I have brochures. I do have information. I have some free giveaways if you guys want to come to the back. And I'll see you guys at the back table. Thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you.